Most people don't realize when this shift begins. At first, it just feels like something is off. You still care. You still have intention. You still want to move forward. But something about the way you move starts to change. You notice it in small moments. You don't push yourself the same way you used to. You don't force urgency the same way. You don't try to squeeze everything out of yourself just to prove that you're trying. And because of that, it can feel like you're slowing down. From the outside, it might even look like you're doing less, like you're not moving as fast, like you're not as driven as you were before. And that's where the thought begins to form. Am I falling behind? It's a subtle thought, but it carries weight. Because it doesn't just question what you're doing, it questions who you're becoming. You start comparing your current pace to how you used to operate, when you pushed harder, when you stretched yourself further, when you didn't think twice about giving more, even when it cost you something. Back then, effort felt clear. More effort meant more progress. More pushing meant you were doing the right thing, even if it left you drained, even if it wasn't sustainable, even if part of you knew it couldn't last. But now something is different. You still care, but you're more aware of your energy, more aware of your limits, more aware of what it actually takes to maintain something long-term. And that awareness changes how you move. You don't throw yourself into things the same way. You don't say yes to everything. You don't stretch yourself just to meet an expectation, even if that expectation is coming from your own mind. And because of that, your pace becomes more measured, more intentional, more contained. But here's where the misunderstanding happens. Your mind is still used to the old system, the system where more equals better, faster equals progress, pushing equals commitment. So when you stop operating like that, your mind doesn't immediately recognize it as growth. It reads it as loss. It says, you're not doing as much. You're not pushing hard enough. You're not showing up the same way. And if you're not careful, you start to believe it. You start to think that something is slipping, that maybe you're becoming less disciplined, less focused, less committed. But what's actually happening is something completely different. You're not falling behind. You're learning your limits. And learning your limits doesn't feel like progress at first, because it doesn't come with speed. It doesn't come with intensity. It doesn't come with that feeling of constantly pushing forward. It comes with restraint. It comes with moments where you could push harder, but you choose not to. Not because you don't care, but because you understand the cost now. You understand what happens when you ignore your limits, when you stretch yourself too far, when you try to carry more than you can sustain. You've felt that before. The burnout, the mental exhaustion, the loss of clarity, the way everything starts to feel heavy. And even if part of you could go back to that, another part of you doesn't want to, because you're not just trying to move forward anymore. You're trying to move forward in a way that lasts, and that changes everything. Because sustainable effort looks different. It's quieter, less dramatic, less visible. It doesn't always feel like you're doing more. Sometimes it feels like you're doing less, but in reality, you're just doing what you can actually maintain. And that's where the tension comes from. You're caught between the version of you that pushed beyond your limits and the version of you that's learning to respect them. One feels familiar. The other feels uncertain. Because limits can feel like restriction when you're used to ignoring them. But they're not there to hold you back. They're there to keep you steady, to keep you from collapsing under your own expectations, to keep your energy from being stretched too thin, to keep your effort from turning into exhaustion. And over time, something begins to shift. When you stay within your limits, your energy stabilizes, your mind feels clearer, your effort becomes more consistent, not because you're doing more, but because you're no longer constantly recovering from doing too much. And slowly, your pace starts to feel natural again, not rushed, not forced, just steady. This is the part most people don't talk about, because it doesn't look impressive from the outside. It doesn't feel like a breakthrough moment. It doesn't come with a sudden surge of motivation. It's subtle, but it's the difference between something that lasts and something that burns out. So if you ever find yourself feeling like you're falling behind, pause for a moment. Look at how you're actually moving. Are you doing less? Or are you just no longer pushing past your limits? Are you losing discipline? Or are you finally learning how to direct it? Because sometimes, what feels like slowing down is actually you finding a pace you can sustain. And that pace is what allows you to keep going. You're not falling behind. You're learning your limits. And that's what makes progress possible in the long run.